What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild. We're with the help of the 2023 NFL college draft class. We're going to try to go 5 years with the Seattle Seahawks, and we're going to try and bring them a Super Bowl title. Geno Smith just signed a 3-year contract extension, like $7 million, $40 million guaranteed. So similar to the rebuild we did earlier in the week. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already, where we did Derek Carr on the Saints. Kind of wanting to see Geno Smith can bring Seattle back to another Super Bowl, win them another Super Bowl. And obviously within this rebuild, Geno Smith is clearly still he's a good bridge quarterback. So at some point in this rebuild, we are going to have to draft a successor. And I wouldn't be surprised if year 4, year 5, we have a brand new starting quarterback. But it's what we do years 2, years 3, hell, even maybe year 1 will surprise people with Geno Smith as our starting quarterback. Now, I'm just going to have my little bit of an old man rant. Can we please add, like the NBA Most Improved Player of the Year award? There's no way Geno Smith should win within the context of Comeback Player of the Year. He came back from being not good, from being a backup. Like, clearly, Comeback Player of the Year should be someone that comes back from injury. Clearly, there should be a Most Improved Player in the NFL award. I feel like it's not that hard. But look at the rest of the Seattle Seahawks. Outside of Geno Smith, we have Kenneth Walker, the rookie running back out of Michigan State. Hopefully, he continues on this trajectory as an owner of a signed Kenneth Walker jersey. I'd love for that to age particularly well, but it looks like an absolute stud. Like, he's a guy, if you saw him in a generated Madden class, he'd be #1 true talent type player. Like, ridiculous skill set. I'm excited to see what he can do as our bell cow. We know the familiar faces, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. We got Noah Fant here at tight end. I do think before the draft, we're going to try to trade Will Dissly. There's definitely some value there. 27 years old, 77 overall. He is a almost top 20 tight end. So I think we might be able to get some value there from Will Dissly. But speaking of Kenneth Walker, that draft class the Seattle Seahawks had last year, they're a team that's got clowned on. And I think rightfully so for their last couple of drafts. They have not drafted particularly well since the end of the Legion of Boom era. And the Legion of Boom era came to fruition because they drafted incredibly well. So throw in the fact that you got Kenneth Walker, you got Abe Lucas, who, for those of you go back, I have the receipt. He was my sleeper offensive tackle in last year's draft class. He managed to, carve out a role as a very solid starter. Then you hit on Charles Cross, who was regarded as one of the top tackles in last year's draft class, but he panned out. He played very well as a rookie, 76 with a star depth. That's just on the offensive side of the ball. You got 3 impact starters. On the defensive side of the ball, I don't really want to give them too much credit, but, who doesn't draft a guy that's 6'4", 210 and runs a 4.26 40, right? So I guess congrats to the Seahawks for not being idiots and getting Tariq Woolen when they did day 3. He should have been a day 2 pick all damn day. Defensively, I actually didn't know they ran a 3-4. But looking at that, I mean, we got Chenowusu, Cody Barton, Jordan Brooks should be nice. Maybe we look at improving the edge rush there. Definitely think we want to prioritize the defensive line in this year's draft class. We're using realistic draft class. Or someone like Tyree Wilson could be interesting. Someone like Jalen Carter, who probably should go talent-wise first overall to the Bears, but with the off-the-field issues, he might fall to us. We have 2 first-round picks. So I do think defensively, we are going to try to prioritize during the draft to really maybe flush out the secondary. Like Kobe Bryant, solid. Maybe, I don't know. Is he a future starter? I don't think he's necessarily going to put us off not spending and investing in the cornerback spot. But this is a team that, like, with the amount of ammunition we have in the draft, we have what? 2 first-round, 2 second-round picks. We're going to be able to be very competitive early on here in the Geno Smith era. But let's get into the first offseason and see what kind of roster we can build. So for our free agents, guys, I don't really want to hit the open market. We're going to start with Cody Barton, who, a little bit of an asshole move there, not wanting to stick around, but I'm also not going to franchise tag him, so best of luck elsewhere. I really don't care about any of the other roster, to be honest with you. So let's go into free agency with $60 million to spend and improve this squad. So a very interesting offer I got for Will Dissly is Caleb Farley from the Tennessee Titans. Titans want to run the football. They want 2 tight ends to play with Okonkwo. Caleb Farley hasn't been able to stay healthy, hasn't been able to live up to that first-round billing. Maybe a change of scenery will do him well, and he kind of fits what we're building here in the Legion of Boom. I know he has a star dev. I know he's 6'2". I know he has like 95 speed. Kind of want to pair that with Tariq Woolen. So let's do that deal. Now, I wasn't in love with this free agency class for our needs here in Seattle, but I also think we're a roster that can't really just sit idly by. So I'm going to take a look here at Josh Allen, the edge rusher, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he'd be a great fit coming off the edge on the other side of Geno. And it's just, you know, not a... We had the best offer! And he goes to a rival. Fuck this guy. So with 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, that is where we're going to have to do our damage in this draft. So we sit at pick 5. Let's see how the draft board falls. Tyree Wilson, shockingly, maybe unshockingly with the off the field, goes first overall. Bryce Young, second. Third, Will Anderson. So the Cardinals reinvent their pass rush, getting Will Anderson and poaching Josh Allen away from us. Okay. And then Will Levis goes. So sitting in our lap at pick 5 is a man talent-wise, could make the argument, #1 in true talent. A man that I think for our team, probably going to move into defensive end. Front 3 defensive end, absolutely utilize just how his freakish ability. Is he the best overall player in the draft class? I'm not going to argue against it. Jalen Carter, welcome to Seattle. And at pick 20, interesting decision. I mean, Bijan being here, tempted, but we have Kenneth Walker. Do we continue like the mold of the Legion of Boom? Joey Porter, Keely Ringo, 6+. But this, you know, with Kobe Bryant, is it a need? What we kind of need, it could be a pass rusher, and Nolan Smith, who absolutely dominated the combine, definitely fits the mold of like the freaks that Seattle likes to land on the defensive side of the ball. Screw it, let's do it. Normal Dev, what? We also need a nose tackle, Mozzie Smith. Freak, #1, Bruce Feldman's freak list from college players entering the draft. So we've used him before. I know he didn't have a normal dev trait, but he's like, what, 73, 74. That is day 1 starter for the Seattle Seahawks. I think we also need a middle linebacker. After losing Cody Barton, Jack Campbell is, in my opinion right now, the best inside linebacker in this upcoming draft class. Will pair nicely next to Jordan Brooks. And I think he's going to be a high-rated player. Unfortunately, still, we're struggling to find guys with dev traits. There's a player falling that I kind of want to see in Seattle here. It's a wide receiver. So I'm going to trade our 3rd-round pick, our 5th-round pick, and a future 4th to move up 24 spots with the Buffalo Bills. A little bit of a run on wide receivers at the tail end of the 2nd round. But a player that's getting a lot of comparisons to our highest rated wide receiver right now. It's not Jalen Hyatt, but it is Zay Flowers. A lot of comps to, you know, not DK Metcalf, the other guy, Tyler Lockett in Zay Flowers, and he's going to immediately come in and be our wide receiver 3. He's going to contribute day 1. Take a look at our draft recap. Jalen Carter pops 78 with the hidden dev. Going to be #1 in true talent, which, again, like we said when we drafted him, he likely is. It's just the off-the-field issues, the unknown, the uncertainties, which have him falling down the board here a little bit. But the free fall stopped at pick 5, and he's going to be a big-time day 1 contributor. Pairing him with Mozzie Smith, our front 3 is looking pretty good. Nolan Smith, while he did not have a dev trait, 75 is a nice power rusher coming out the edge, and he is going to take over from Darrell Taylor and play on the other side of Geno, and hopefully just one of these guys gets Rookie of the Year and goes up a dev trade. Jack Campbell, right outside linebacker, 71. We're going to move him inside. I don't know if that's going to shift his rating up. Usually, I guess it would. But he is going to be a day 1 starter for us at middle linebacker. We're going to go with his ceiling, and he stays about the same. Zay Flowers in the 2nd round, showing great value trading back into the 2nd round. Giving up a couple future picks because he's 74 and he is a hidden dev, which was difficult for us to hit on in this year's draft class. We got a depth center. We got 2 70s to kind of finish out the draft. So just a really, really strong draft here from Seattle, which we kind of needed to after a very quiet free agency. So year 1 of our rebuild goes as such. Offensively, we're running it back with a lot of the key pieces that Seattle had success with in 2022, except we're adding Zay Flowers to the mix. Hidden dev wide receiver, we're going to play him in the slot. Oluwatimi, the Virginia transfer who went to Michigan last year. Oddly enough, it was like our worst pick. He's our starting center. 6 overall points better than the man with luscious locks, so we're going to go with that, but probably still need to find a long-term center. Same with guard. I think Gabe Jackson maybe going into this offseason could be a cap casualty. But for now, it's fine. Let's hope the young offensive linemen continue to develop. Defensively is where there's a little bit more shakeup as we have brand new starting nose tackle in Mazi Smith, brand new defensive end in Jalen Carter, who I'm very intrigued to see how he plays in this scheme. We have Jack Campbell starting alongside Jordan Brooks at middle linebacker, Nolan Smith at pass rush, and Caleb Farley coming over from Tennessee, trying to help recreate the Legion of Boom here with Tariq Woolen, Jamal Adams, and Quandre Diggs. Ultimately, this is very much a fringe playoff team, and at minimum, I would like to see a wild card berth here because Geno Smith is not getting any younger. We already lost one overall point. He was a 78. Now he's down to a 77. So any year now, year 1, 2, and 3, that we miss the playoffs with Geno Smith, we're just wasting the best of them. And after the first game of the season, Mazi Smith, the rookie nose tackle out of Michigan, is straight up saying, hey, let me get that star dev for you, boss. Let me get it against Tennessee. I'm going to make you look like that value pick. I know you feel like you got hard done by the lack of dev traits that you pulled. You got Jalen Carter and Zay Flowers. That is it. Rest of us, good draft picks, no dev traits. Even though we got cooked, I'm going to give you that star dev. Let's go. Shit. No, we didn't. Damn it. At the midway point of year 1, 6-5, second place in the NFC West, firmly in the hunt for a wildcard spot in the NFC. So that's not too shabby, I think, all things considered. Taking a look at our contracts in season, we have a decent amount of salary cap, so we can pretty much re-sign whomever we want. Looking at our available free agents, I mean, Darrell Taylor kind of became surplus requirement when we drafted Nolan Smith. Shelby Harris, I think we can get a little bit younger. Do think Noah Fant is definitely worth keeping around. I wish he was a little bit more interested so we didn't have to overpay. 5-year, $45 million deal, though, for an athletic tight end like that is not bad value. We got Damian Lewis. You know what I say, man. Let's ride our lineman into the ground. We'll give him a 4-year deal, see if he's interested in that, which he is. Pretty much, if you have a dev trait and you're under 27, I'm probably going to offer you a contract. We have Chenawosu. Now, I'm a little worried that he's not going to retain that dev trait. He's going to need to put up a pretty good season to do so, and I don't really want to offer him longer than a 4-year deal, so we'll bump that up. We'll just round these numbers up, offer him a 4-year, $48 million deal, and we get him locked in. And we're going to have probably, once we get our little bit of extra cap, we're going to have about $50 million to spend on the open market. And at the end of year 1, we go 9-8, which is not a bad record. We had a top 10 offense, which is good for Geno Smith. However, no playoffs. We said at the very top of this, we have a very limited window that Geno Smith's going to be good, because he's only going to regress again this offseason, which is going to make it that much more difficult to get back to the playoffs and go on a deep run, which kind of sucks. We do have some dev traits unveiled. Star dev for Zay Flowers on the defensive side. Very surprisingly, Jalen Carter only popped with a star dev. I thought this might have been as high as an X factor. So a star dev is certainly a dev trait to give to Jalen Carter. Look at our stats this season. Ooh, number 1 quarterback, at least as it relates to yards, is Russell Wilson. Of course, Russ actually plays well in the first Seahawks video we do in a minute. Geno Smith played out of his mind, though, honestly. 4,700 yards, 39 touchdowns, 8 picks is a unreal season from Geno Smith. Running the ball, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns for Kenneth Walker. Awesome. DK led the team with 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns for Zay Flowers. Going to put him right in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Going to be pretty tough with the quarterbacks that were a part of this rookie class, but I think he'll probably be the short list top 5. Lockett, a little bit of a disappointing season. Noah Fant was average. On the defensive side, Brooks and Adams go over 100 total tackles. On the sacks front, 8 TFLs, 9 sacks on 72 tackles for Nolan Smith, 79 tackles, 19 TFLs, 8 sacks for Jalen Carter. We'll take that every day of the week. Look at that. Mazi Smith, 24 tackles for loss. Another outstanding rookie draft class from the Seattle Seahawks. Kobe Bryant, 3 interceptions, leads the team. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. In the NFC, you got Kareem Hunt, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Goes to Aaron Donald. Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to Zay Flowers, beating out the top quarterbacks. All right. That should be good for a superstar dev. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Tyree Wilson, beating Jalen Carter. It would have been good to get the clean sweep there, but I'll at least take one of them. Rest of the award, it's just, man. We played very well. It feels gut-wrenching to not make the playoffs. And as we conclude our lockers end of the season, we did get some very nice dev traits, as Zay Flowers, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, is up to a superstar dev. Awesome for him. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got a dev trait increase for Jalen Carter, going from star to a superstar. Mazi Smith going from normal up to a star dev. Jamal Adams going from superstar to an X factor. Really, the only player that I thought might have a chance that didn't was Nolan Smith. And even then, man, as long as he keeps playing as is, I don't really care too much about the dev trade. If he's getting double-digit sacks or close to, that's good while he's developing as a pass rusher. So let's hope that Geno Smith does not get smashed in the face with really bad regression this year, and we can get in the playoffs in year 2. And we handled business very quickly and promptly in free agency. We had a decent amount of money, so we got Michael Wenu, who's going to come in and be a big-time upgrade over Gabe Jackson at right guard, 86 star dev. And then the defensive line, I'm getting Derek Brown, and I'm going to slide him to defensive end. We're going to keep Mozzie Smith at nose tackle, and we're going to have Derek Brown handling the run stuff on one side, and we're going to have Jalen Carter handling the pass rush on the other from what is now an outstanding young front three. So for our draft, it's never too early to start considering quarterback. We did our scouting. I'm probably always going to be scouting the quarterbacks, and there just wasn't anybody that was worth trading up for from pick 17. So then it's like, well, where do we have potential need? And I think the argument could be made. We've handled our front seven pretty accordingly. I thought about corner. Julius Baxter looks solid. Adonis Rush, got some height, weight, speed. Brian Cooper actually looks real nice here. Fastest, and he's 6 foot. Ooh, my God. I almost feel like we have to get this guy. However, maybe I'll trade up to get that guy. Trade back to get that guy. Because I do want to rebuild the Legion of Boom. Cooper could come in and either, if Farley doesn't pan out, he could be his replacement. Or maybe we just, unfortunately punish Kobe Bryant a little bit. But I'm looking here at Lloyd Chris. B hit power, B tackle, B zone, D man. You like to see maybe a little bit more. But 6'4" with elite agility, elite jumping, 4.4 speed. Our oldest player that's facing regression that's starting is Quandre Diggs at free safety. So I feel like this is the move. And then we'll come back and see if we can get Cooper. And just fully commit height, weight, speed, Legion of Boom 2.0. So we're going to offer our second and third round pick to the Raiders, who pick first in the second round, as Cooper has fallen out of the first. I don't know how this is happening. It almost feels like it's like a Tariq Woolen 2.0. No one wants this 6'3" freak of nature corner that actually has pretty good ratings. No one? All right. Let's Seattle draft him. COL, this works out for us yet again. Normal dev, kind of stings a little bit. Hopefully he's like a 78 overall or something crazy like that. And take a look at our draft recap. Getting 2 athletic, 6'2" plus freaks. Oh my God, I'll take that. Lloyd Crisp, awesome name. Didn't even acknowledge how good it is, but 6'4", 218 out of Oklahoma. Not saying that he's going to be our Cam Chancellor, because he's, not a massive hitter. 75 hit power. He's more of a, I don't really know, George Aloka. Big, huge safety, but it's just more of a cover guy, long, uses his length in coverage. And then Brian Cooper didn't come with a dev trait, but I will take a 76, 6'3" rookie with 95 speed every day of the week. So we put Quandre Diggs up with a trade block, and the Jets trying to find some value. Mekhi Becton just cannot stay on the field. All the potential in the world, but, best ability is availability. Either you can stay healthy with us and could be an upgrade at right tackle over Abe Lucas, who's been solid, but no dev trade, has a limited ceiling. So we're going to send the veteran Quandre Diggs for the injury-prone Mekhi Becton. So take a look at our squad. We have a brand new right tackle in Mekhi Becton, 81. That's nice. Pairing that with Nwenu, who we signed in free agency. Really, we're a center away from having a complete offensive line. Nothing else has changed on the offensive side of the ball. We went heavy on the defense. So Crisp makes way. So he's giving up about 5 overall points to Quandre Diggs. So obviously you're gambling there a little bit. You're going with the younger player. I want Campbell to be a starter as well with Jordan Brooks. Nolan Smith eyeing in on a dev trait increase. What we're going to do on the defensive line is we're going to take Derek Brown and maybe unconventionally 6'5", 320. Not too often do you see. I mean, you feel like maybe the Giants kind of use Dexter Lawrence in that role as a run stuffer, but that would line up not at the nose tackle spot. So that's what our front three is going to look like. Outstanding run defense. And we're going to go with Cooper ahead of last year's interception leader in Kobe Bryant, just for Legion of Boom memes. And around the midway point of the season, that is what I like to see. 5-1 for the Seattle Seahawks, sitting first place in the West. As long as we don't completely botch the second half of the season, we should at least be expecting playoff football, if not to outright win the division. Looking at some contracts here to handle in season. You know what? That's a bargain for Farley. $14 million for a guy that all it takes is one season to get up to a dev trait, and we're laughing. Jordan Brooks, like to keep him in the middle of our defense. Usually don't want to pay linebackers too much money, but he's really solid. And it's like one of those things, if we don't pay him, which we'll have to come back with another bid, he's going to be the best middle linebacker available, and it's just going to be a hole for us to try to fill. So we'll come back with a better offer here and hopefully lock him up next week. And we offered him $500,000 more, and that smoothed everything over. We got Brooks for the remainder of the rebuild. And then Reader 2, this is what we were looking for, Geno. 11-6 in NFC West title, first round bye. Very much a down year. I thought it was just like, really? The amount of times we've got 13 wins and, runner up. Maybe we'll count our blessings. We did have a breakout scenario for Nolan Smith the last week of the season. He's desperately trying to get off that normal dev. Unfortunately, did not hit it. But look at that. We're like a pretty solid, like offensively solid, defensively almost top 10. Kind of a well-rounded team, if you will. Not elite in any area, not bad in any area. Geno Smith, solid year, not as good as last year, but still, for a quarterback of his skill set, he's playing well. 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 1,400 yards, 70 touchdowns for Kenneth Walker. He's been an absolute stud in this rebuild. 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns for DK, 12-8 for Zay Flowers. Another, you know what? Honestly, we'll keep Lockett, but when it comes to contract time, maybe we'll move on just to free up some extra cap space. And go with a successor in Zay Flowers. Defensively, we have over 100 tackles for Jordan Brooks, who I'm happy we were able to re-sign. 9 sacks from Jalen Carter, 8 from Nolan Smith, 8 from Derek Brown to go along with 20 TFLs. Huge year from our big free agency signing, and a solid year from Mozzie Smith. Anytime we get 6 sacks from a nose tackle, you're pretty happy with it. Tariq Woolen led the team with 3 interceptions. Cooper, not bad, 71 tackles and a pick. Caleb Farley, 1 interception. Where's Lloyd Chris? Lloyd Chris, 70 tackles, no picks, buddy superstar dev, which is awesome. So we will absolutely take that. Happy that we drafted him. That's a stud right there. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Skylar Good on the Philadelphia Eagles. So I guess they moved on from Jalen Hurts. Austin Payne, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Donald, Skylar Good. I don't know if we're going to have any Seattle Seahawks here this season. Nope. All right, fine. Whatever. The best team in the NFC gets no respect. No respect, I tell you. Well, we're going to take it on in the divisional round as we get to kick our feet up for the wild card. And it is the 9-8 Atlanta Falcons coming to town. We need to feel optimistic. We at least get 1 win. Come on, Geno. Come on, Geno. Well, it was close, I guess. But I think, I don't know, you'd love to see the experience of Geno Smith triumph. Maybe the talent difference that CJ Stroud possesses. All right, year 3. And at the end of year 2, kind of clean our lockers. Looking at depth traits, no one regressed on the offensive side of the ball, so I guess that's a win. And on the defensive side of the ball, no one regressed. And Cooper went up dev trait from his rookie season, so that is very nice. So we end up with Cooper star dev, Lloyd Crisp, superstar from that first draft class. I mean, really, if I had to nitpick. Actually, sorry, we did. We lost Jamal Adams' X Factor, which kind of sucks. We just need to get Nolan Smith off that normal dev. I think we'll probably send out free agency here. I'd love maybe, going all in on Kyle Pitts. But this is a realistic rebuild, not just sign everybody to try to win a Super Bowl. I feel like with Noah Fant just recently signing a year ago, doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. In reality, there's some very good players, some very interesting players, but nothing that, we need. You can look at maybe an upgrade at middle linebacker over Jack Campbell, and there is nothing at middle linebacker that I would take over him right now. Like Jerome Baker's the top guy. Could also use a new starting center, upgrade at center, and again, no real value there at all. So let's just roll towards the draft. C4, are you going to draft a quarterback? Are you going to draft Geno Smith's replacement? Not with back-to-back god-awful dog shit quarterback draft classes. Holy, that is truly terrible. Hopefully we're sacrificing to the football gods so that next year there's like a generational quarterback we could trade up for. All right, moving up. We're trading our first, second, and fourth round pick to jump from 28 to 13 with the Colts. Because we said going into this, I need center and a middle linebacker. Did not exist in free agency, and there's like only one linebacker that even looks remotely interesting in the first round. A center went like 5th overall in this draft. So I think someone like Earl Geddes, day 3, 3 A's. That's the guy we're going to draft in the next round. But looking at the middle linebackers here, it's not the perfect linebacker. You would love to see an A zone coverage, but when you see a guy that's 6'2", 250 pounds, and he runs a 4.5 flat. Elite speed. You're going to jump all up. Give me the dev trait here. I'm getting absolutely shafted with dev traits in this draft for this whole rebuild. First draft, Bengals draft class, ripped off. Last year, got that freak corner, ripped off. This year, freak linebacker, ripped off. Luckily, the third round, and Gertis is still here. Looks like an exceptional pick, and he pulls a hidden dev, likely a day one starting center for us next season. That's something I think I'm going to do from now on in these rebuilds. We're getting to that late stage rebuild, right? I am going to, when I have a need, when I have clear one or two needs, if there's a guy that's clearly going to be the best player, I'm going to make a jump for it. And Dalton Taylor, while no dev trait, 75 overall for a rookie. I'll take it. He definitely needs to hit a dev trait sooner or later because we traded a lot of assets to go up and get him. But right out the gate, he's already probably going to be at the same level that Jack Campbell's been, and he's been here for 2-3 seasons now. Gertis in the third round, 74 hidden dev center is going to be day one starter. We hit a 74 running back in the 5th round. Hidden dev out of Louisville. Nice little compliment option there behind Kenneth Walker. Very happy with this draft class. Year 3 for the Seattle Seahawks, and what you got to be starting to consider could be Geno Smith's final year here in Seattle. Down to a 75. Rest of the offense staying at a high level. We get upgraded at center. We upgraded at RB2. Everything else remains the same, so I'm excited for that. Offense should be peaking as long as Geno Smith wants to. On the defensive side, we'll bump up Taylor, first round pick, the middle linebacker, get him starting alongside Brooks. We go into another year hoping that Nolan Smith can earn a dev trait. Everything else looks very, very nice as we, recreating the Legion of Boom too. Don't want to, harp on that too much, but it's what we built. 6'4 safety, 6'5 corner, 6'2 corner, 6'3 corner. It's something pretty crazy that we got going on here in Seattle. We were divisional champions in the 1 seed in the NFC last year, and unfortunately, we're one and done the playoffs. Let's be better here in year 3. Do it for Geno. And about the midway point of year 3, 5-4, only a game back of the Rams in the NFC West, and we beat the Rams week 9, 31-14. So we're optimistic that we can finish this one out strong and maybe pull ahead, get back first place in the division. $155 trillion worth of salary cap. So we got plenty of options here, and not a lot of players want to re-up. We'll start with the punter, right? Because punters are people. We'll get Michael Dixon for the remainder of this rebuild, hopefully on 2 years. Yes, it would have been pretty bad if our punter declined. Now we got DK Metcalf. Can't let him go. And literally offer him the most money we can. He's still not interested, which sucks. But we'll come back. We'll get Kenneth Walker on a 6-year deal. He's been very good, very consistent for us. Don't want to let him walk. We got Jamal Adams. We'll offer him a 5-year, $95 million, which is ridiculous for a safety of that age. But he's also a very good player. Tyler Lockett's going to be the interesting one. He's going to be likely the business decision that we end up making. And Tariq Woolen not interested, even with the most money, which sucks. We got Mekhi Becton. We'll offer him a 3-year, $30 million deal and get him locked up after that trade with the Jets. Geno, man, it might be time to move on from Geno Smith, even though it's not really a Geno Smith rebuild, but we've tried. We've tried. He's been solid. Maybe we'll wait and see at the end of the year kind of where the salary's at after we resign Tariq Woolen and DK Metcalf. But I do think it might be time to move on from Tyler Lockett. But then again, last stage, maybe right before free agency, if we have a lot of money, we might throw some money at Tyler Lockett to see if he can finish his career as a Seattle Seahawk. All right, we got Tariq Woolen locked up. Had to offer him a decent amount more, but don't worry about it. We got him locked up. All right, if we don't get DK with this, we might have to franchise tag him. 6 years, $192 million. Thank you. Year 3, and we get another divisional title. Congrats to Geno. 2 divisional titles, 0 playoff wins. Hopefully we can change those fortunes this year in the wild card round against Philadelphia. And I'll tell you what, if Geno... Let's see the stats first before I say anything else. Geno Smith, ooh, he's at that... This happens, man. It happens with every old quarterback. There's just 1 year where you can't get over 30 touchdowns, and it feels like that's good. This is Geno's year. Maybe it's best we let him ride off into the sunset. Not an amazing quarterback class, but I don't know, man. We might have to act in the best interest of this squad. Solid year from Kenneth Walker. Oof. We are probably losing some dev traits here. Zay Flowers, superstar. DK Metcalf's X Factor, definitely at risk right now. Defensively, I love seeing Derek Brown and Jalen Carter dominate on that defensive line, which is good. I love seeing, some good turnovers there in the secondary. Don't know what we're going to have for yearly awards. Hasn't really been a yearly award type rebuild here. Not a lot of Seattle Seahawks that have been honestly deserving of, like, that guy there is, running back of the year, defensive player. Not really been the case. It's been more of a team effort. But this is for Geno, man. Could be his final year in Seattle after 3 seasons in this rebuild. Fucking 2 divisional titles, 2 playoff losses, 0 wins is how this is likely going to end for Geno. In a Madden Super Bowl that no one saw coming, the Cowboys and Chiefs battled it out. Who gives a fuck? Looking at our squad, let's see the damage, man. I'm expecting Dev. Yeah. Oh, Zay Flowers didn't lose his superstar, so that's cool. We did lose the X Factor for DK, which for 900 yards under 1,000 is what it is. And yeah, I mean, we rode Geno Smith as long as we could. Got to probably very aggressive to get a quarterback this offseason. Defensively, Nolan Smith gets that dev trait we've been looking for. Jamal Adams, unfortunately, lost his superstar, but he's getting up there in age a little bit. Derek Brown gained a superstar. Chenowusu lost his superstar, but still, when all said and done, could have been worse. Could have been worse. Let's go find ourselves a QB. Worst part about Madden, huh? Let's go find a quarterback. Oh, of course. Geno's the best option. Of course he is. Hey, maybe let's move on from Tyler Lockett. Get younger. Oh, he's just also the best option at wide receiver. Of course he is. Okay, so there's already 8 offers on Tyler Lockett. Not going to get in a bid of war. I will take, if we can, we will have Treylon Burks come in and be our new wide receiver 3. Everything else, honestly, there's nothing in this free agency class that screams this is what's going to be the difference maker for the Seattle Seahawks. So we are going to roll this salary cap over. Could lead to a big year 5 Super Bowl or bust. We're going to have an insane amount of salary cap space for that. But now it's on to the draft and finding a new quarterback. All right, so we're moving up from Geno Smith. We have an insane amount of cap space to, mess around with a year 5 Super Bowl if we need to. We've done our homework on all the quarterbacks. There's clearly one that we want, and that is Andrew Amell. 5'11", not your prototypical size, but it's been a minute since I've had opportunity to get one of these quarterbacks. One of the ones that has elite speed, probably 90 speed. And he looks pretty. I would love to see, elite throw power, but great throw power is not too bad. That's probably going to be what? I don't know what the cap is, like 93. So it's probably going to be between 90 and 93 for the throw power. But 100%, it's ML or bust for a quarterback this year. So we might have to do a little bit of trading, or he could fall into our lap. We'll see. All right, quarterback went 1 and 2. I might just trade up right now. Not worry about it. I thought we'd have to, invest our 2nd round pick, but we're able to send our 1st round this year, our 1st round next year, and our 3rd round pick this year to move all the way up to pick number 3 to be able to select our quarterback of choice. And that quarterback is going to be Andrew Amell from Hawaii. Spirits and shades of Colt Brennan, R.I.P. Channel legend, real life legend. 89 acceleration, 90 speed, 88 agility, 88 change of direction, 92 throw power. Let's go. And take a look at our draft recap. Not quite sure he's a generational player. 75, that's not bad. That's not bad at all for Andrew Amell. We got a hidden dev guard in the 2nd round, P.J. Jordan out of Texas. He looks fairly solid. Don't know if he's ever going to play, but he's kind of solid. The rest of the draft is what it is. It was all about securing the services of our Geno Smith successor, and I think we definitely did that. Year 4 of our Seahawks rebuild, and we have our new successor in place in Amell. Fortunately, a little bit of a change of guard. No more Geno, no more Tyler Lockett, but I'm fully expecting Zay Flowers and DK Metcalf to handle their business. And then we got Treylon Burks here. Nice utility player to operate within the slot. And we can also rely on the run game a little bit to take the pressure off of our young rookie quarterback's shoulders. Offensive line's also outstanding. Defense ready to run it back. Front 3 as good as there is in the NFL. Really, front 7. It's a solid front 7. The secondary with Chris Adams, Woolen, Farley, and Cooper is all. There's just no weakness. There is no weakness on this squad. Firmly expect, even with a rookie quarterback, double-digit wins and to be in contention for the playoffs. Halfway, year 4 of a 5-year rebuild, and we're last place in the West. A little bit of a transitionary year, even though our team's really good. Still have a rookie quarterback, and also we have, so much salary cap. That's just, I don't know. Does that make sense, right? Like, we had so much salary cap to the point of, like, our team isn't going to be ridiculously competitive because we're missing, well, at this point, we had, like, what, $60-70 million of available cap that we just weren't spending on impactful playmakers. So we're going to make sure we can re-sign a lot of our top guys here. Mozzie Smith, we'll get him locked up at nose tackle, which is done deal. So we got 24. Got to figure that could go up to like 40 once we hit free agency, and that's $40 million to get one or two guys that can move the needle to put us in a position to be one of the best teams in year 5. So we were rebuilding in a sense of a brand new quarterback, having the 30th passing offense suck, and knowing that 9-8 won the division, and we went 8-9 as a 90 overall team. Not quite the feeling of a lost season, but, you know, anxious to go and spend big-time money. Andrew Amell was solid, not, you know, crazy MVP numbers. We'll round that up. 4,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns to 6 picks. We did unveil his depth chart is superstar, so that's awesome. Not quite generational player, but really, really damn good franchise quarterback. We had a solid season there for Kenneth Walker. But, I mean, with a 90-speed quarterback, I don't really want to explore the option of changing playbook, but we might have to. And again, it's one of those arguments where it's like, oh, well, you're changing playbooks, you're going to make the rebuild easier. Kind of, because the best playbooks that are going to maximize my quarterback's strengths of he's a scrambling quarterback with 90 speed are also pretty good playbooks for the most part. Like, we're probably going to go with Philadelphia, which is, like, in my opinion, the best balance. It's not a super OP offense. It's not a super meta offense. But it's probably top 5. It's between like 5 and 10 if you're ranking the top 10 offenses, top 10 playbooks. But it's just like, you know, it's one of those arguments of, do you want to go to a different playbook that makes it easier? On one side, yes, I guess. Is that kind of cheesy? I guess. But on the other side, it's like, I need a playbook that maximizes my quarterback. I don't have Geno Smith anymore. I don't want to have a quarterback that should be dynamic and has definitely the capabilities of getting 7, 8, 900 rushing yards and just not using that whatsoever because we're just going to stick with the Seahawks playbook this whole time. So I do think we will make the shift to the Philadelphia Eagles playbook this offseason, which still should be fine. DK Metcalf over 1,000 yards. Zay Flowers with a solid year. Might be losing his superstar dev with that season. Defensively, Brooks and Adams over 100 tackles. We got 4 picks. Jamal Adams, great year from Jamal Adams. Sacks were definitely down. Big-time TFLs, very difficult to run the ball against, but didn't get a whole lot of pressure on opposing teams' quarterback. Not a great year. Not a good time. Year 4 of a 5-year rebuild to kind of have everyone regress and have like a nothing year. And of course, for all the yearly awards, nothing there for the Seahawks. So we're going to let's just go do that right now, a playbook change. I mean, I guess a little bit of tutorial if you don't know how to change your playbooks and you just get confused in these menus. We'll keep the defense the same. We'll still be the Seattle Legion of Boom defense, but we are going to bump this to the Philadelphia Eagles playbook just to utilize our scrambling quarterback a little bit more. So we're going to go from, it's the same scheme though. Just same playbook, or same playbook for the scheme that we're already running. It's Phillies instead. And we're going to use our quarterback scrambling ability a little bit more. In closing on year 4, we did lose a superstar on Zay Flowers, which, given his year, was kind of expected. Nothing else went up or down on the offense. On the defensive side, Jalen Carter. He's making the thumbnail now. Up to an X factor. You love seeing that. And for the rest of the defense, as relates to dev traits, Cooper went up to superstar. I love seeing that. A member of our re-envisioned Legion of Boom. And everything else remains the same. So we're going to be rocking and rolling. Hopefully land 1 or 2 big free agents and move this thing to a contender in year 5. We're swinging big for free agency. Wide receiver, edge, kind of. It was wide receiver, middle linebacker were the 2 spots we could like make a big splash. We did. We went with big offers, but there's also competitive offers from other teams. It's not like we're going to be able to for sure sign both of them. And we did get them. Henley from Washington State, 25, X Factor 89. We got Jerry Jeudy. So that's going to kind of make... Zay Flowers will move into slot. We'll have Jeudy on the outside with DK Metcalf. And we got $14 million. I needed edge, and that was just debatably. And there's not much in terms of like... Miles Murphy was the guy that I was thinking about, but even that, I don't know if we're going to be able to land him. We'll throw the best offer we possibly can, and he's likely going to... Yeah, so we'll cash out on that note. 2 big signings. Should put us in a great position to be one of the best teams in the NFL. And just to kind of, I don't know. We don't. It's the final pick. Final pick. We didn't have our first rounder because we tried to figure a quarterback. So just in the mantra of like, can we hit on our last premier pick in our draft? Another 6'2" freak corner, Isaac Pemberton. Let's go. Welcome to the Legion of Boom 2.0. And draft recap. 75 corner in the second round that fits what we're building on defense. That's a great hit. You're probably not going to play a whole lot, but absolutely love the fact that we've got a bunch of these freaks. It's kind of what you need. It's kind of what you need to do if this was longer than 5 years. We literally just 6'2" corners. Oh, you ran a 4.3? Welcome to Seattle. That's the reputation we've built. Year 5 Super Bowl or bust here for the Seattle Seahawks. Brand new offense. Hopefully we'll maximize our dual threat quarterback. Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver 2 on the outside. We're getting better at 2 positions. We're going to get better at outside wide receiver. And with Zay Flowers moving back into the slot, we're going to get better at slot wide receiver. Plus we got DK Metcalf doing the damn thing. Offensive line is one of the most well-rounded offensive lines in all of the NFL. And we just can hand the ball off whenever we want to our 99 overall running back, Kenneth Walker. Defensively, I think we've done a great job just reshaping the Legion of Boom. Our front 3 of Jalen Carter, Mozzie Smith, and Derek Brown is outstanding. Our linebacking core, Nolan Smith, Henley, Brooks, and Nwosu is very good, borderline elite. Jamal Adams, crisp, 6'4". Tariq Woolen, 6'4". Fairley, 6'2". Cooper, 6'3". Pemberton, 6'2". It is. I'm not going to say it again. It's almost like take a shot every time I say Legion of Boom 2.0. That is what we have done. That's what I wanted to do. We have achieved it. We have achieved everything I want to do. Outside of maybe winning a Super Bowl with Geno Smith, but winning a Super Bowl overall. But now everything is in line for us to be one of the best teams in the NFL and absolutely be favorites for a Super Bowl here in year 5. And we spent big in free agency to give us a chance here in year 5. And with big-time players, a new playbook, the Seattle Seahawks get our 3rd divisional title of this rebuild, going 12-5, kind of running away with the division. And let's kind of see who played a big part of that. Our quarterback definitely took the next step. Maybe not so much from a yard standpoint, but 44 touchdowns, 8 picks. Thank you, Nick Sirianni, and your better playbook. We still, and I don't even feel super cheesy about it because we didn't change our scheme. We just changed our playbook. We luckily, literally, it'd be like, all right, we got to stick with the Seahawks scheme, but let's find the best playbook that is in the West Coast zone, and we did that. And it maximized our quarterback, who also had 3 almost 400 yards rushing and 6 rushing touchdowns. 50 total tutties for our boy. Huge year to Kenneth Walker, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. Zay Flowers thrived in the slot. Jeudy was great. A little bit of a down year from DK Metcalf. That's fine. He's a team player at this point in his career. He just wants a Super Bowl. Henley, who is our mercenary middle linebacker, 132 tackles, 4 picks this season, 12.5 sacks. Derek Brown, 10.5 from Jalen Carter, who's been amazing. Mozzie Smith, 7.5. 5 picks. Jamal Adams leading the team. This actually might be a year we have some yearly award winners. MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. Amel coming in at number 2 in the MVP race. We have quarterback of the year going to ML. So that means, honestly, if we come to the Super Bowl, it might be that little shift to bump him up to an X factor. Michael Nwenu is O-lineman of the year. That should also be a dev trait scenario for him. And it all comes down to this. Year 5, Super Bowl or bust. First round of the Wildcat against the 10-7 New York Giants. They're an 8-8 overall. Definitely not a pushover team, but we absolutely handle business 35-10. Actually, we kind of just sip right through that. That could have been a very anticlimactic final game. 300 yards and a touchdown for Amel. Didn't light it up. Didn't really play like an MVP runner-up, but look at that, man. The rushing. 3 rushing touchdowns. We ran the football well. We played pretty decent defense. A lot of plays from Jalen Carter. Sack from Mozzie Smith as well. Pemberton, our highest draft pick, second-round draft pick, find a way to get on the field and get an interception. You'll love seeing that as we're on to the next round against the Falcons. Falcons handle business by defeating the Eagles 28-21, the Battle of the Birds, for Battle of the Birds Part 2. I feel like we can sim this one. I feel like we could ride into at least the NFC Championship game, which we can. High-scoring matchup. 42-34. Maybe we get a little bit more out of our quarterback to set up a matchup in the championship game against the Commanders. And we just garbage time, man. We let up 24 points in the fourth quarter to make it close. Sean Watson, piece of shit, went off a little bit. Look at that. Amel, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, playing his best football, his best playoff game of his career, and it sets us up in the championship game against the Commanders. We'll hop in, play the moments here a little bit. See what we can do. I'm going to guess the Commanders found themselves a quarterback at some point. But first, touchdown of the game goes to the Seattle Seahawks. Washington able to respond right away. Feels like it's going to be one of those games. We score, they score. We don't score, they don't score. And we see what happens. They get a safety somehow. We're going to chalk that up to growing pains of a young, inexperienced quarterback. And look at that. Look, we score, they score, of course. Touchdown for us, touchdown for them. We're going to the fourth quarter. Touchdown for us, touchdown for them. Just can't pull ahead. Defense needs a stop. 5-point lead. And they get the touchdown. They didn't get the 2-pointer. We'll come in here. 4th and 2 on the 33. And we're talking fullback runs? I don't think so. We're going to go with the most safe play that I know. We're going to go with slants. But also, recognizing our quarterback has 90-some speed, we might just take off with this. Unless there's a clear option. But there is at the top. There we go. Jerry Jeudy. Big-time catch into the Commanders' territory. 1st and 10. Drive continues. We're in the red zone. I hate taking the field. I want them to make it. Like, when it comes to a field goal, that gives you like the little bit of like, I'm not playing. I hate this so much. This fucking game, man. All right. Where's DK? Fuck you. Fuck you. We're going to the Super Bowl. Suck it. And the Super Bowl has been set. The 12-5 Seahawks against the 9-8 Buffalo Bills, a team that we have a 5-point overall advantage. We have the number 4 offense, number 1 defense in the NFL. Buffalo is the number 18 offense, number 6 defense in the NFL. This should be a game that absolutely should not be close. We should beat the brakes off them. And I think we have a couple dev trait increases. I'm expecting your quarterback to be in. Okay, I went and went up. How did you have 50 touchdowns, quarterback of the year, and not go up dev trait? Whatever. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Actually, before that, because I already know if I win a Super Bowl or lose a Super Bowl, I'm probably just going to crap. Let's take a look at our stats, our player stats throughout this whole rebuild. Who has done what? Obviously, our quarterback, it's only 2 years, but that's a hell of a start for his career. Kenneth Walker, over 8,000 yards rushing, 77 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, just shy of 10,000 yards receiving, 83 touchdowns. Noah Fant, 6,000 yards. We got Zay Flowers, 5,300 yards, 39 tutties. On the defensive side, Jordan Brooks, over 1,000 tackles. Obviously, Jamal Adams did, but he had some of that with the Jets. 4 sacks, 52 for Derek Brown. Did some of that with the Panthers, but 45 sacks for Jalen Carter, 90 TFLs. He has been outstanding. And on the interception front, 18 picks. Jamal Adams, 18 picks for Tariq Woolen. He's probably the only guy maybe a little bit disappointed. I would love to see Tariq Woolen kind of keep that pace up. 6'5", 4, 7 interceptions a season. Wasn't quite that, but still, if we can just get a Super Bowl when all is said and done, that's all we will remember him for. Please just note, I think we dealt with our shenanigans in the championship game, right? Like just every single bounce went the way of the other team. We scored a touchdown, they scored a touchdown. No real pulling ahead. But it looks like it's gonna be a close game. 7-7. Buffalo kicks field goal, gets a slender lead. And we're gonna try. Look at that touchdown just before half to go up 14-7. Buffalo gets the first score. We trade. We equalize. We instant their touchdown. But I do need to admit that the Bills, when they get the football here, they are just chewing up the clock. And I think we're gonna have to go ahead and try to win this game here. Oh! 28-28. They punt it. Going overtime. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. 4th and 15. I almost feel like we should just go for it. I'm going for it. We're on the 37. We got to get a stop anyways. Field goal or not. Oh! Oh my God, we should have just... We'll catch it, though. We'll take it. We're going to put this game... Well, actually, they can score anyway. That's the new rules, right? I want to come in. Let's punch this one in. First and goal. I'm giving Kenneth Walker the whole way. Oh, what are we doing here? I know what we need. We need C4 special. It's been a minute. A little bit of a callback. C4 special, Kenneth Walker. We're going to go to the right. He has 95 speed and just outran someone named Justice. Kenneth Walker, honestly, with that speed, he's probably like the best running back for the C4 special. They're going for it on 4th down. Let's stop him here. Nolan Smith. No, we get locked up. And get that shit out of here, baby. Year 5 Super Bowl champions. Geno Smith laid the groundwork. This is a successful rebuild, baby. Come on, let me get my guys celebrating here. Jesus Christ, stop showing digs. 35-28, the Seattle Seahawks. Get it done. Can't believe it. They were the second-year quarterback. You know what they say, man. That's your window. You gotta try to build your super team when you have the rookie quarterback. That's exactly what we did. Strong game from Kenneth Walker. Allowed us to get a late signing of Henley, X-Factor linebacker, late signing, and Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver, absolute game changer. And it brought us a Super Bowl. And I think this was everything we needed this rebuild to be. It's probably unlikely that we're ever going to win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith under center. But when all's said and done, we got it done, man. Lift that bad boy up. I do have another rebuild that I want to do that's kind of in line, like we did Derek Carr with the Seahawks. Geno Smith, or Derek Carr with the Saints, sorry. Geno Smith with the Seahawks. I do think my next rebuild I want to do is a Jordan Love Packers rebuild, as it looks like it's the end of the Aaron Rodgers era. So look for that at some point, maybe on the weekend. And I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below about what rebuild you want to see next. I'll see you on the next one. Till next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.